So fun fact, Cab 804 is a reference to two things. An episode of Frasier called Flower Child, in which a child is born in Cab 804. Also, the cab in the 78 sitcom Taxi.
Was 804?
It was 804.
Oh my God,
Isn't that cool?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either until I was doing research for this episode.
Because I wrote here, why 804?
That's why.
Jen Stone has answered the question.
It was a fun, writer's Easter egg. So Jerry remembers the lottery number of the lotto ticket he bought when Justin was born, but doesn't remember what room he was born in, when he was born.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
No one remembers the number of the room.
It was silly.
It should have. I know they wanted it to be a number and the lotto thing or whatever, but I would have said maybe we do something a little more.
What about time?
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that because my first daughter was born at 9:29, and my production company, which doesn't exist, was 9:29 Productions. Isn't that cool?
That's really neat. Yeah. I was born on 5:29.
Is
it about 29?
The time. That's what they should have done.
Yeah, time would have made more sense.
Rather than the room. But then then later in the episode, he goes to the mall, and there's a whole weird
There's a whole thing. We'll get there.
The mall, the hospital was turned into a mall or something.
Yeah. Okay, so Justin doesn't remember the room he was born in, which who does? Teresa, calling the cab company, finds out 804 is retired and is headed to the junkyard. Alex shouts, "I outlived a cab," which I thought was very funny.
And by the way, the cab later you see is disgusting.
Yep.
So
they're retiring it for good reason.
The last time we went out in the cab, supposedly, we went in a disgusting cab, which is
odd. Have you been in some of the cabs in New York? Sometimes they're a little crusty.
I haven't. Yeah, it's a little dirty.
Yeah.
But
sometimes there's a strong tobacco smell.
I love it. Listen, I'm sorry, everybody. I just love to poke holes in everything. I'm like, what cab company is going to be like, yeah, we retired that or this or it just isn't. But
remember, because the Sunshine Cab Company thought she was special. Because remember, and we'll get there too. Because Uncle Al was like, she was the cab baby.
Okay,
she's
I
the
apologize
baby.
for everything.
I don't think a cab company would really do that. I think they wouldn't give a shit and they'd be mad. They'd send you a bill to clean the cab.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, in our universe,
if anybody was born in a cab, let us know.
All of what, 10 people?
I don't know.
In the world? I don't know. Okay. All right. So Jerry's having a really hard time with the fact that the cab Alex was born in is headed for the junkyard. Harper reveals that she's never thrown out any piece of her past and subtly incorporates it into her outfit, showing her baby jumper and booties, which actually ended up at the beginning of the third or fourth season intro. That she's sewn into the front of the dress. And then she goes, guess where I incorporated it?
Right.
Which is ridiculous because it's literally sewn on the front.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Thank you. Thank you. And then I shake the little booties.
Yeah. And the fourth season intro changed. They did little snippets. And it's so interesting. I wish I was a part of that and to
None
say pick this or pick that. Or,
they don't ask
the
actors that.
No, I know, but
fuck
it just
you.
is.
We'll pick what we want. That's how they said it. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
We'll pick what we want.
Yeah.
So Alex goes to the garage after seeing how hard Teresa and Jerry are taking
that's what I wanted to say. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about everybody. Sorry to interrupt.
You're sorry for participating in a podcast?
This is the first episode where Harper is aware and that magic is happening.
I'm in on the joke.
Yes, you're in on the joke and the secret. And I just, every time that you react to magic, I was fucking laughing my ass off. It's so funny.
Thank you.
Okay.
It was fun for me too. So Alex goes to the garage to get a souvenir from Cab 804 and introduces Harper to Uncle Al, who's not really her uncle. He's played by John, sorry if I mispronounced the last name, Capodici.
Who had been in so many different things.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Speed,
He's
and
so
many TV appearances. So Uncle Al hands her an air freshener. He puts it around her neck.
Which is just disgusting.
It's so gross.
I hate the air freshener. You can even see, I think, Selena's face. She's like, oh.
Because it's pine.
And those just are
fake
gross.
Pine. Yeah. Not real Pine Mountain, fake Pine Mountain.
Fake Pine Mountain, where I have the Bigfoot Cafe, everybody.
Not sure if you knew. So Uncle Al hands her the air freshener, puts it around her neck. Alex asks for a moment alone with Harper to say goodbye to Cab 804, but really what she's doing is magic to bring the cab back to life with the spell, I can't bear to part with this cab that won't drive. Do whatever it needs doing to bring it alive, which How many cabs is she bringing back that were rhyming that specifically?
I don't know. This is
a make 'em up?
Make them up. Rhyme it, and it's a spell.
And it's a
right?
spell. Yeah, because I mean, what is how many times have wizards needed to bring a cab back to life that this spell exists?
Yeah,
but basically
silly.
what it is like it brings inanimate objects back to life. And like you were mentioning, this is the first time Alex does magic in front of Harper.
Right.
So then Uncle Al and the come back in.
Well, wait a minute. The bit where, we've done magic. So she takes the cart with the tools and puts it near. And then you're like, wait, this is going to make them believe that we did it. And then when he comes back in, he goes, oh, yeah, the tools are right here. So that was,
No, Harper says, look at the
idea.
tools. Look at the tools.
And then he says, I thought that was a great bit.
No, it was a funny gag.
It was funny.
For sure. So they come back in. She tells Uncle Al that she, fixed it when she magically starts running again. And then Harper points at the tools and that's whatever. So then we're back in the loft. Justin is determined to figure out what room he was born in because that's a thing. And Max shows off a random gurney that he found going with Justin to figure out what room he was born in.
It's very silly.
It's very silly, but it's so Max.
Yeah.
And I love it of just like his
It's like a
brain.
pet gurney.
Yeah, it's like a pet gurney. Justin discovers Mid-City Hospital, where he was born, has been turned into a shopping mall with Justin's favorite store, the Science Fun Activity Store.
That is not a fun thing to say. It's almost like they're like, Science Fun Activity Store. Let's get him with that. The writers are like, we're going to make him say that.
Yeah, which he did it. He nailed it.
He did. But if you look at it, and sometimes I do this as well, David was like, I was at the Science Fun Activity Store. Like he was like, I'm going to say this right.
There was something I remember so distinctly. There was a blooper that like he just couldn't get it. It was when they were in all the cow spacesuits.
Yeah.
And
we're going to make it detonate, explode.
Yeah, he couldn't say detonate. There was like some, I don't know if we were shooting late or like what it was.
You know where that is if you want to watch it.
On the blooper reel.
On Patreon.
Oh, good Lord. Okay. You're better at pitching the things. Okay. And then Alex quickly trumps the fact of the Science Activity Store with the fact that Cab 804 has been fixed. Hooray.
Yes.
Jerry and Teresa are very happy.
I think problems are going to happen, everybody.
I don't know. Okay. In Waverly Place, we discover that not only is the cab fixed, but it can speak loudly for everyone on Waverly Place to hear. And this is the voice of Adam Carolla as Bert the Cab 804.
And Adam Carolla had a show with Dr. Drew called Loveline.
Yeah, well, it's like they rebooted Loveline, right?
Oh, they did?
Yeah, because Loveline was like...
It was a radio thing where you called in and you're like, I'm this and I have there's a pimple on my balls and I don't know what to do with it. And
I missed that call.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of... It actually wasn't a bad thing. But
it was a cool show.
There were a lot of people that could call in and get medical advice, but it could be embarrassing to kids and whatever.
Yeah.
So it was a good way of getting good information out there.
Safe space publicly on the radio.
Yeah. And Dr. Drew would answer the questions and then Adam Carolla would make fun of them.
Great. And he was also on The Man Show with Jimmy Kimmel. And then he had his own show, The Adam Carolla Show.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like most people know him probably from The Man Show.
He was very nice. Not my cup of tea. Just not my,
Not everybody's made for everybody.
And I wonder if he was the original voice for the cab. They got, like that, because when you're doing...
We'll have to ask Peter if he was the original.
But he wasn't on set.
No,
he wasn't there.
He just did the voiceover.
Yeah, it was later. Probably, our Susie, our script person would probably have done the lines or something. I don't remember.
Maybe.
But somebody was doing it.
Yeah. Anywho, upon hearing the cab speak, Harper can't decide between screaming or running away, so she opts to pass out shouting, "Catch me, Justin," which of course he does not.
Fuck, I watched it like 8 times, Jen.
Oh, David.
The way that you didn't just fall back. You did your arm, you did this.
Well, because Harper loves a romantic gesture.
And you hit a pad, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
But God, it was so funny. I was laughing.
I don't know if you've ever experienced this because you're like, I always looked at you as being this like physical comedy like genius, right? Because I know I like him. You're
genius, but I try to do physical comedy.
No, you're hilarious when it comes to physical comedy. But I remember I had this, I don't know what I was thinking, but I had this thing about like suffering for your art. So I always was like, I don't want the pad. I don't want the knee pads. Because to me, I'm like, I don't know. It was so silly because now I'm like, you only get one pair of knees, or if you hurt yourself, like it's just stupid.
Well,
but for me,
now.
like I got some like weird perfectionist like high off of like getting hurt doing things, which they obviously didn't let me do because I was a child. But I remember being like, I don't need the knee pads. I'm okay. I don't need the pad. I'll figure it out. Like, I don't know what that was. I was like trying to, do it without the safety stuff.
I don't know. Maybe you wanted it to be as real as possible.
Probably, because I was like a thespian,